the Sistema Railway. We've chatted to the favourite in terms of the trainer in Jamie Richards. Now we're about to catch up with the second favourites trainer in Tony Pike. Compliments of the season to you, Tony. Looking forward to a huge day at Ellerslie today.
Yeah, good morning, Greg. Happy New Year. Yeah, no, looks like a nice day up here today. Just arrived on course and, yeah, some big open fields. It should be a great day's racing. Let's
get straight to the Group 1 and your charge, Bostonian, off the back of a very successful Brisbane campaign. First up run in the Counties Bowl. You couldn't have been more happy with what he was able to deliver.
Yeah, exactly. His coat hadn't quite come through in the Counties Bowl either. He was a little bit slow coming back from Brisbane with his coat. And yeah, we're pretty happy really considering the way the track was fresh up. Probably not ideal on a genuine slow track fresh up, but he got the job done and got it done nicely. He seems to have improved from that run. He always goes well fresh, so we've given him the 5 weeks between runs. And, yeah, look, he's drawn a perfect gate as well. So all systems go for today and couldn't be happier with him.
Tony, what's been the difference? We're just looking at that winning performance from him as a 3-year-old, where he came through the Guineas at Riccarton and he obviously went on with it from there in Queensland. Has he just strengthened up or are there some other things that have changed about him?
No, I think he's strengthened up, but to be fair to him, probably the couple of times disappointing on paper. One was the Guineas, he almost got put through the running rail that day and pretty much took his chances out of the race. So, a couple of his runs, he's had a bit of bad luck, and apart from that, he's obviously 7 out of 10. So, he's always been a very consistent horse, and probably just a bit of maturity and natural strengthening. He's developed into a nice sort of open class sprinter.
Your arch rival in this race, obviously Melody Bell. When the barrier came out, one trainer, Jamie Richards, probably not so happy. You would have been very pleased with the gate of 5.
Yeah, the gate of 5 is perfect, obviously, for Bostonian, especially at the 1,200 metre start at Ellerslie. There appears to be a lot of speed in the race as well, so, drawing wide, if you did want to get forward, it's going to make it very difficult. So, couldn't be happy with the draw, and obviously Melody Bell, she's the class mare, she's got Group 1 form on the board, and that's probably the biggest query with us. We're only a Group 3 winner in Queensland at this stage, but he looks like he can cope with the step up, and we'll find out today.
Tony, you've also got Indecision in the race. She's won 2 of her last 3, and no reason why can't be competitive here again. A reasonable sort of a gate in 7.
Yeah, she's drawn perfectly for her in gate 7. She's a mare if she can just get a nice rhythm rolling and only the speed. She's always hard to run down. Very tough effort, obviously, in the Newmarket with 60 kilos on a heavy track. So this is a big step up for her today. Obviously, the Newmarket dropped away a wee bit with scratchings when the track was wet. But they've all turned up today. But she's a good, honest mare. She's in good form, and I'm sure she'll give a good account of herself.
Got an opportunity to have a look at some work from Ellerslie, and when we get to the Eclipse, this will have significance, I'm sure, with Whiskey Neat and also Bostonian. Talk us through this work at Ellerslie, because they both appeared to be in wonderful order.
Yeah, look, it was very good. Obviously, I sent the 2-year-old with Bostonian. It's always good for a good 2-year-old with his natural ability to be matched up with a horse of equal ability, and probably galloping with an open class sprinter, kept his mind on the job. He cornered well, Leaf quickened nicely off the corner, and it was good solid work from both of them.
There's been some significant bets on this horse, one of 20,000, so the punters share your confidence. Is he exactly where you want him for today?
Yeah, can't fault him. His condition is fantastic. He's actually probably put weight on since his Otaki run. His coat's come through. The only small query is 2-year-olds first time around Ellerslie can do funny things, but he's obviously had a trip up here and a gallop on the course, which is a big help. And I think he's obviously a very, very smart 2-year-old, and it'd be nice to see if he can repeat his Otaki performance today.
We're just having a look at that Otaki performance now, Tony, and they just don't go any better. I know it's sometimes hard to line up the form, but he's done everything you could have asked of him.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I don't know how strong they were behind him at the end of the day. Cinzano went out and ran 4th in the Wellesley, only beaten 2 lengths. So, she's obviously a very handy filly. But Leith never really moved on him that day. He was very professional, and his closing sectionals in the race were quite strong as well. So, it's been a while since a 2-year-old's run by that far, and hopefully he can put a margin in them again today.
He goes round in the Eclipse, of course. Let's have a look at race number 4. It is the Jamison Park Auckland Guineas, and you have another smarty here in Surely Sacred, although not favourite. More Wonder holds that position at $3.20. You're $4.40. Pent Everest at $5.50. Arrogant, who's been good at $9.50. Langkawi the same, and $8 for Lumberjack. This should be a very competitive race. What about where your horse is at?
Yeah, look, he's a very progressive 3-year-old. He's a gorgeous type of horse. It was a big effort to step up just from a maiden win to running second in the Bone Crusher at Group 3 level. So, he's done a good job. He still lacks experience, but he's now had a look around Ellerslie, and he's just going to get better with each race. So, he's only going to improve after today's run. But, I think he's a nice staying 3-year-old in the making, and wouldn't surprise me to see him go close to winning today.
Tony, what about gate 10 of 10? Is there any concern there?
Oh, look, it's never easy, the outside gate. Obviously, it limits our options. Probably go looking forward. We don't really want to probably press the button and go forward on him, sort of teaching him to relax and get home in his races, obviously with distances further than today's in mind. So we'll probably just ride him a little bit quietly from gate 10, just leave it up to Lee from there. But he has got a good turn of foot, and as long as they don't walk, it's only a small field. He shouldn't be too far off them turning in, and should have his chance.
Penkiaro stud City of Auckland Cup. Let's have a look at the market for that. And your charge, Terra Sancta, 10s and 285, Mickey Coleman to ride. Look, it'd be fair to say it's not the deepest City of Auckland Cup, but this horse will get its chance.
Yeah, I think she will. We've had a few gear changes with her since the last start. I was possibly disappointed she didn't win last start. She travelled well on the corner and possibly leafing a bit soon on her, but she sort of peaked on her run the last bit. But she's really improved from that run. She had a trip up to Ellerslie and a gallop on the course proper here about 10 days ago, and her work on Saturday morning was probably the best of this preparation. So, as you say, she's on the minimum 53 and she's going to get a chance today.
We're just having a look at her performance going into this race, and yep, there was plenty to like about that, so all the very best with her in that one. Race number 10, the Punters certainly came for your horse last time. We'll have a look at the market now and see that they've come again for Sacred Day here, $2.50, but again, a pretty progressive type.
Yeah, he is. He's very lightly raced. He had a small fetlock issue against the long time between runs before his fresh up run at Counties on the track. He didn't really like. He's a lovely action horse, and although he closed well that day, he did prefer the firmer track conditions on International Jockeys Night. That was only second up after a long break, and he closed well with the rail out and got the job done nicely. So he'll improve again today, and as you say, he's a very progressive horse going forward. Yeah,
he bullied his way to the outside here and charged home, and it was a really good performance, and he takes his place in the last, and will be through many multis, I'm sure of that. Tony, you sent a team down to Hawke's Bay as well. Not very often we see the reverse. River Run coming out of Mandy and Matt Brown's stable and up to yours. Normally it's the other way, but it's done a couple of good things for you thus far.
Yeah, look, he's a nice horse. I was lucky enough for Matt and Mandy to send him up to me, and Jeff Taylor, the other part owner as well. Ran credibly behind a horse of mine called Everloyal with the Kinto Stakes last year. It's probably taken a little bit of time just to mature, but his run last start at Ellerslie was very good. He was probably still on the South Island way of going. He just got on the wrong leg from the 600 to the corner, and still looked to be labouring, straightening, and then managed to get on the right leg, and he charged home late. So with that experience around Ellerslie, they look like they're going to go pretty even tempo in this race, and he's going to win plenty of races once he works it out.
Pango, Anarchy, another couple of runners there, all the best down the line. Tony, got to put you on the spot. What's the best of the Pike team today at Ellerslie?
Look, if you want to take the shorts, probably the 2-year-old Whiskey Neat. Obviously he's looks like a pretty progressive, pretty smart 2-year-old, so I'd stick with him. But probably the value is Treasure in the Dunstan final. I think she's peaking at the right time.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks so much for your time, and all the very best today.